Hey Blizzard, it's me, Clark HELLSCREAM. There's something that we need to talk about. Just one little thing. You're doing a lot great with the mini set and with these new game modes, but there's one little itty bitty thing that I really believe that not only people in Standard need, but Wild is definitely in need of. We need a better report system for bots. Botting is becoming a problem and it needs to be stopped. This is the topic I've been thinking about making for quite some time, and the only reason why I decided not to make it is because I thought this wasn't as consistent of a problem as I was led to believe. But apparently there is a Reddit post that is shining light on more of the problems that are being created because of botting in Hearthstone. Pretty much, if you guys are not aware of what specifically botting is, it's when you make a program that just essentially plays a game for you. It does automatic reactions or does something, it essentially automates, some kind of grinding or some sort of play for you. And in Hearthstone, what you're able to do is you can literally just set up a bot to where it will literally take as much time as physically possible. It will rope out every single turn, and it just presses the hero power over and over and over again. And this has been something that's been plaguing people at the lower ranks because this is only something that people are doing in order to gain EXP. And there's a little bit of new information that I have been at least made aware of because of this Reddit post. So let me go ahead and start getting into this post because it's really made me reevaluate how botting actually affects Hearthstone. And I was already somebody who thought this needed to be fixed, but this is just proving that it's a bigger problem than not only I thought, but you guys probably didn't think of as well. So the Reddit post begins with a tweet that Mark McKay made a couple of weeks ago after he's been very vocal on his streams about what his botting experience is. There is an unreal number of bot accounts at low MMR Wild right now. They only hero power and rope every single turn. There really needs to be a better reporting system play Hearthstone. This is unacceptable. Unfortunately for Mark, I can kind of understand his frustration here because as somebody who plays meme decks, like, really, you waste so much time as is. So going up against someone that's intentionally wasting your time is never going to be a good feeling. There needs to be some sort of punishment for intentionally griefing your opponent's time for your own benefit, just for experience, dude. Like, this is literally because of the Tavern Pass. Like, the Tavern Pass is giving people more experience for actions or for time committed in a game. It's not through like each turn spent. It's about how much time you spent in a turn, and that's why these bots are incentivized in order to make these decisions to just literally queue a game, do nothing, wait, gain experience. But this next bit that I'm about to inform you guys about is actually what made me make this video, because I think that this definitely needs to change. The paragraph that really made me want to make this video was this paragraph right here. And I'm just going to read it word for word in case you guys are not 100% looking at the video, because this is something that you guys need to have the context for. I have a bot that accepted an ad from me on my friends list. I see him botting most of the time, and occasionally I see the player himself playing. As you might guess, he plays Standard and doesn't give a damn about his ranks in Wild. It's just free gold to him. My guess is that all the other bots are the same. They play Standard and farm Wild in their off time. So yeah, this is clearly an issue if someone is literally just using a format and just using it as a means of getting free easy gold at the expense of somebody else. I really believe that this is something that the devs should look into, because this is just a simple fix in terms of just adding a report button or a better way of being able to send these kind of instances to somebody at Blizzard, because unfortunately botting is something to where you can do and not have any kind of punishment for it. You can literally sit here and gain a bunch of experience by just literally commanding a bot while you do whatever you want in the other screen. Because let's be honest, a lot of Hearthstone players probably have two screens. It's just kind of the norm around here. But this needs to be fixed. We need some way for these players to be punished, because if it doesn't, then this is just going to keep going. And we don't want people to be driven away from Wild, even though there's already a reason to leave Wild because it's not Standard. Like, literally, Wild has been drowning for quite some time, and this is just another way of keeping its head down below the water. And let's just let Wild breathe a little bit and give them a report button at least, because this is just so toxic. The thread continues, and the original poster actually talks about his own experiences with making a bot and how his win rate was apparently a 48-79, meaning that 48 people actually probably just conceded against him because they knew that it would be such a time waste in order to actually go through with the game. So 48 free wins for literally doing nothing. He climbed from Silver 5 to Silver 2, which isn't that much of an improvement with the new changes to the ladder system. But again, you're not really caring about your ranks in this format. You're literally doing it for the gold. The gold is what's the important thing here. So he went from, I think, level 48 to 61, which is honestly not too bad. 26 games out of the 127 were versus another bot. That is absolutely unheard of for these kind of ranks. Like, Silver 5 is supposed to be for people that are getting their feet wet in a format and trying out the decks that have already been prepared for them, trying out new ideas that they saw from streamers. But instead, you're telling me that about a fifth, a sixth of their games are going to be against a bot that literally just wastes their time? Like, imagine you are a grinder. It's your first time playing in a format, and you're trying to get the highest rank possible, or at least see if you can put yourself in contention to get yourself at those higher ranks. If you literally know that you're going up against an opponent who literally just gains life, and you know for sure that you're going to win, but you know that it's going to take like almost a half hour to get there, that is just so demoralizing and so just so unmotivating for people. How are they going to sit through a format that actively has this kind of scene plaguing its players? And lastly, apparently 25 wins were just from straight concedes from people. So apparently I was wrong about the 48 wins versus the 25 wins. So I do apologize for that. But the sentiment still stands. Like, there are so many games that you have that literally people are just going to leave. They're going to leave immediately because they don't want to experience this. And unfortunately for these kind of players, the win rate is just going to be tanked. And there's nothing these players can do to stop this. There is no report system, because in this thread as well, he's talking about when you report them, apparently Blizzard, quote-unquote, does nothing. And I have reported people through the Blizzard launcher before, and I'm not really sure how exactly these reports and these complaints get read by people. I'm not really sure how exactly this goes on Blizzard's side, but there's literally no notification that's given to the player after this report is made, aside from, we've received your report, we will do something about it. That doesn't really give the player a lot of hope in the moment that something is going to be done. And unfortunately, nothing has been done, because this has been a problem that's been has essentially been a thing since the Tavern Pass and the Battle Pass was originally, implemented into the game. So this begs the question: what needs to be done, and what does Blizzard have to do in order to fix this? There is one easy solution. There's only one thing that needs to be done in order for this problem to be fixed. All you need to do is just make sure that time in game does not relate to how much experience you gain. More time in a game should not mean more experience for the player. What I believe it should come down to is what turn they reach, because that's essentially the thing that you're trying to go for, right? Like, the whole reason why time is a thing is because you want a player to be given more experience for each turn that they reach. So give them a certain amount of experience for each turn threshold that's made. And then if you really want to reward something like time, do it for cards. Like, do it for, like, animations, or like if you play like 100 cards or something like that, that should get you more experience, where if you only played 10 cards. I just don't see why time in game needs to be something that you're getting experience for when you can measure it by the turn limit, but just by the turns. I was trying to think of like so many different examples that are just better, but that's literally it. Just base it off the turns and base it off of the cards that are played. Like, I just can't see another reason why time has to be so important for EXP to be gained. And that is just from the in-game portion. What I think Blizzard also needs to do outside of the game, more so inside their launcher, is just create a better way of reporting people. I'm not really sure if other Blizzard games have this issue as well, but in Hearthstone, there are so many ways of being rude, being harassing, and just being outright disrespectful, and there's no punishment for it. Like, I'm not saying that every single person that rage adds me needs to get a ban from the server, but I would like some sort of way to be able to report the people that go to the really massive extremes of harassment, and also for these kind of people that just bought and literally make Hearthstone an unwelcoming, uninviting environment. Wild is literally already something that you have to commit something to, whether that be money, time, or some other sort of resource. You have all of these thresholds that you have to get over if you want to play Wild legitimately, and this is just another obstacle for players that they have to deal with. This is something they shouldn't have to deal with, and it should be something that it needs to be dealt with. I'm not really sure how anybody can defend botting as of right now in Wild, outside of maybe, oh yeah, it only affects these people, but the people that it affects are literally the people that are going to be hopefully playing this format for a couple more weeks and months down the line. But if you literally kill their motivation from the very beginning, how are they going to get into this format? And that is pretty much my take on the botting situation. Like, that's as straightforward as I think that I can get. Blizzard just really needs to be able to disincentivize people from literally roping every single turn. There should be no reason to rope every turn unless you are literally thinking about every single one of your decisions, or if you're playing Grandmasters, because if there's actual money on the line, take every single second that you need. But when we're just literally dealing with a ranked system where it already doesn't have any incentives whatsoever, and you're just giving more people a reason to quit the format, you need to fix this. Like, this is something that I would say, not necessarily top priority, but should be something that Blizzard should fix ASAP. I really don't think there's any reason why this needs to exist in the game, and I've already given you my solutions, and I think that's pretty much all Blizzard needs to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully we'll do some more Hearthstone discussions here in the future. It's definitely something I've been thinking about a lot more often, and something else I've been thinking about is making one of these types of videos a day where I just literally talk about a topic in Hearthstone, talk about something that could maybe be changed or improved, maybe talk about like some hypothetical discussions. I post a lot of different questions on my Twitter all the time. So we might even bring over some of those questions for some content. We never know. But if you guys enjoy this kind of content, feel free to like the video. Feel free to comment. Let me know what you think about these types of videos and what you think about the botting situation, because I would love to hear from you guys as well. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you for the next video.